A dozen odd members gathered on this day in front of the Bundestag, the seat of what the Reichsbürgers consider illegitimate power. They think the German Federal Republic is a sham and Germans are stateless.
The German Federal Republic belongs with the US and Britain. This parliament is just the dead appendage.
Their leader, Rüdiger Hoffmann, has been monitored by the security services for years. He refuses to recognize the armistice signed in 1945 after World War II. His tiny group believes Germany remains a country under Allied occupation.
Germany is under the administration of the Allies, who still have the upper hand in the country. The Second World War isn't over.
This Federal Republic quite simply occupies the homeland of the Germans, or rather the German tribes to whom this territory belongs.
A conspiratorial mindset, sometimes delusional perhaps, but not always without danger. These are the Reichsbürgers, citizens of the Reich. A nebulous grouping, hard to define precisely, but sharing one characteristic. Its members refuse to recognize the current government in Germany, the Federal Republic. According to the authorities, some 20,000 people consider themselves to be Reichsbürgers. Just outside Wittenberg, the town of Martin Luther and the Protestant Reformation, one group has even created a new monarchy.
All of us are entering a phase where we have to take a decision. Either stay on the path of damnation or choose the narrower path of salvation.
The self-proclaimed Kingdom of Germany is having an open house day. It's a private property reigned over by Peter Pietzek, who happens to be absent for the event. The former cook made the career move to sovereign by swearing himself in over a decade ago. His kingdom has some 600 subjects.
Hiermit schwöre ich den heiligen Eid.
Samuel is in charge of the civil registry, handing out the kingdom's identity cards and driver's licenses. The young man gave up on the Federal Republic a year ago.
When you have an ID card of a driver's license from the Federal Republic, you're tied to that state. But I don't want to have anything more to do with that system. And I want to fully invest myself in the Kingdom of Germany.
The self-declared kingdom also happens to be a business, one that works well. It has its own bank, retirement fund, and social security system. A few small companies have joined it, and gifts from its subjects have enabled the purchase of several properties. German security services consider the organization to be a kind of cult, and its members part of the Reichsbürger movement, even though its spokesman says that isn't true.
We think we have to create a new system in a peaceful way, and it makes no sense to use hatred and violence to get there, because that will just create more hatred and violence. But the people who come to see us consider that there is no way to change the system, and so we have to turn away from it to build something new.
There are reportedly several dozen such mini-kingdoms in Germany, micro-states that might seem comical, but which grew in number during the pandemic. The Amadeu Antonio Foundation fights racism and anti-Semitism. It's been investigating the Reichsbürger movement for a decade and says it's been getting more radical and closer to the far right.
The people who have started the radicalization process enter into an alternate reality. It might seem ridiculous or even amusing, but this alternate reality makes them vulnerable to all kinds of anti-democratic ideologies and, in the worst cases, ready to commit acts of violence.
The threat is now being taken seriously. On the 7th of December 2022, a vast police crackdown broke up a terror cell accused of planning an attack on Parliament. Among those arrested were members of the armed forces, a judge, local community leaders, and a former federal MP with the far-right AfD party. Over 100 weapons were seized. In Parliament, news of the planned coup stunned MPs. But for this left-wing member of the opposition, there is still danger.
These people think sinister foreign forces are about to take power. And the danger lies in that dynamic. One of them can say, "I'm going," and others will follow. All it takes is one person. One person to enter a mosque and shoot everyone, or one person who manages to get into parliament.
In Berlin, the parliament wants to make access to the building more difficult. During the December raids, police found a list of some 20 political figures in the home of one of the suspects.